Well, to this now, we continue shining the spotlight on the state of public transport in the country. And now private train operators could soon have access to the country's state-owned rail network. Let's find out how, of course, this could benefit the public as well as the economy. African Rail Industry Association CEO, that's Ms. Misela Nhlapo, speaks to us all the way from Durban. Ma'am, thank you so much for your time and good morning to you. Now, it seems you are in agreement that all stakeholders need to come together to ensure that the rail industry is fruitful enough for both, the public as well as the economy. How do you think this decision will benefit those two, the public as well as the economy?
Morning to your viewers, and I'm glad you used the term stakeholders. Stakeholders, I think we should call them South African men and women that want to be employed, that want to have their dignity back, that want to work. And I think we can use this opportunity of allowing third-party access into the core network, which is currently run mainly by Transnet. I think that this opportunity could be used by Transnet, in extension government, to raise more money for Transnet.
With that being said, I mean, this is not the first time that we've also heard from industry as well as President Cyril Ramaphosa saying that we will be ready within a year to implement this decision for private operators to, operate their trains. In terms of deadlines and timelines, where do we stand?
Well, there's a plan in place by government to, they have set themselves 12 months to implement third-party access. But what we have done as an association, we have positioned ourselves as implementing partners. We have put together a team of lawyers, of financiers, of technical people in the industry to establish how can third-party access, how can it practically be implemented? Yes, there's a plan in place, but as South Africans that wants the best for this country, we can't stand on the side and let government work on its own. We need to work with government, and we're using this opportunity again that we are appealing to government. Let's form a rail advisory committee that will be including government and private sector. Private sector cannot do it on its own. Government cannot do it on its own. Let's save the rail industry of this country.
Absolutely. Ms. Nhlapo, speaking of some of the plans that you make mention of that are in place, can you place us in your confidence, just in terms of which passenger lines are high on the priority list and which, of course, of these could be first to be run by private operators?
Look, when we say private operators today, we are meaning freight. So if we want to export and increase our export and increase our GDP as this country, let's start with freight. There are, industries, you name it, the grain market that is looking for us to come back and transport their product. We are looking at the mining industries, private mining, those lines that are not profitable for Transnet. I mean, if you look at the grain market, 80% used to be transported by rail. Now it is 80% on road. Now think about it. All these potholes now I call imigoti that are there, that could be significantly be reduced. It will save government money. If you look at KZN, if say they're spending 21 billion rands by moving freight from road to rail, those costs could be reduced to 2 billion rand. Now that's a big number.
Yeah, just in terms of also the costing, as we talk about those big numbers and some of, the resources needed to implement this project. I mean, we spoke to our reporter, eNCA's Mangoba Mchunu, earlier on at the Gautrain. He did say that, the Gautrain is reliable. However, commuters, on the other hand, are saying that it's quite expensive. It is costly. You need to have a certain budget in this pandemic to at least afford reliable, railway network. In terms of, these new trains as well as the private operators who are expected to implement, should commuters be worried about the costs?
I think it's important to identify the lines that are run by PRASA and the lines that are run by Gautrain. Those are two different operating entities. So you have an operator that runs, has also a government commitment and funding, that is Gautrain. But you also have PRASA, which is likely not providing decent service to the people of this country. So we need to establish that. And two, there is no passenger rail service in the world that makes profit. It's always subsidized by government. Now, for the poor people of this country, including you and me, we need to find a way to make sure that PRASA works. PRASA is not only transporting people.
Right.
PRASA is supporting the manufacturing sector of this country. Now, PRASA needs to come to the party. We cannot allow this anymore. PRASA must work. Minister Fikile Mbalula must intervene on a more serious note. PRASA is killing the manufacturing sector of this country. The general overhaul contract must be awarded. We need to be saved, and only government, PRASA and Transnet can save the jobs that currently are offered by private sector.
Ms. Nhlapo, it's a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for your time this morning.